Good evening, all. And I think the earlier conversation, which I was just listening to the panel discussion, was very interesting in terms of taking forward the discussion or the points that I wanted to convey onto the hyper automation part. So, the most important thing is today, if we go into the kind of economics of it, then India has 1.1 trillion people, which is associated with technically possible automable activities. Globally, if we see, then that is a 15 trillion amount. If we automate the processes that can be automated, then the productivity can go up by 2x. And there are about 235 million jobs into India, which kind of can be automated. And this is a McKinsey report which says that. Now, if we go to that, today every like finance professional or every industry professional that we talk about, they say we are developing bots to automate the processes. And I would say bots are not enough, because the processes are quite complex in nature. The understanding of the processes by the people who are developing the bots is not enough. There are so many legacy systems available into the market, and we are using multiple legacy systems into each of our finance functions or a business function, and it's not possible to replace all of them. They may not be bot friendly, so that is also a challenge which comes into it. Lack of functional guidance, this is a major concern, because the experts who develop bots may not have the functional expertise in terms of understanding of the processes that are there into an organization. And then each functions works into silos. That is a major challenge, because a business division is not aware of what B is doing, and that is a kind of a major challenge onto it. The most important thing is there are certain building blocks which have to be considered when we are talking about hyper automation. And the most important thing is that connector ecosystem, because if we are kind of working with the legacy systems, if we are working with systems where the API driven interaction may not be possible, or they are not API first applications, or the data transmission is a challenge, a different kind of a connector ecosystem has to be done. The RPAs, the AI and the ML tools are has to be an equal part of the entire thing. The conventional applications have to be considered very clearly into the process, and stream analytics using multiple data lakes, and kind of there is so much amount of data available into the world. So I was kind of interviewing somebody today morning for an architecture application, and he was coming from a company which is like providing the solutions for lighting. Now I just asked him that you have the kind of a process or the application by which you can control the lights of an entire building or an entire airport or a kind of thing, and you are able to structure as per the moods, as per the kind of temperature, as per the timing of what type of lighting needs to be provided. But can't we use more connectors or IoT devices to kind of really capture more data on the number of persons available? And along with that, and this type of kind of interesting IoT enabled applications are in place, by which using stream analytics we can create a better data lake by which much more futuristic and intelligent information is available. This will reduce the time and effort drastically. It will provide easy portability and much smarter connectivity into the entire process that is there. So that is an interesting point, that we need to look at hyper automation into a different building blocks and work accordingly onto it. If I go specifically onto the text environment, the challenges on the text function, and we talk to very large organizations across the globe, and what we see is it's a very complex text environment which is there into the place. You have so many different systems, anything starting from 20, 50, or maybe a few hundred systems are there, and the data source into each of the system is different. The master data is different. Connecting the dots itself is such a complex task that it becomes really difficult how to analyze the data. And this is a first part that needs to be cleaned by any organization for the text functions. The optimizing the business technology environment is very important. You cannot replace all the systems. You cannot remove all the legacy systems. You have to kind of work into a system by which the source data, the conventional applications, the connectors, the bots, and they are kind of planned and architectured in a manner by which the entire data flows into a data warehouse, and then the validation engine takes care of the validity of the data, and then it goes to the other tiers for the opening it. Now this particular system or this methodology of streamlining or kind of providing the data into a single line ensures that the quality of the data is better, ensures that the data that is available for business functions, for the decision making, for analyzing, for being used by your BI tools is much better, and lot of objective decisions based on the data can be taken. Now this is something, it's not rocket science, but it is kind of mixture of the conventional tools and conventional methods along with the automation tools which needs to be deployed or applied, by which this type of a methodology can be taken care of it. Now, if we go for the planning implementation of such an approach, then I always suggest, we at Signet, what we suggest is that first have a proper source tier. It may be your ERP system, the data may be into simple Excel systems, it can be into other kind of a data warehouse or a data lake, but have your source tiers properly confined and properly configured and clearly defined. Based on that, create a connector tier, which will help you to kind of connect this different various sources to the storage tier. And this connector tier may also work as a part of a validation of that particular data. A cleansing mechanism of that particular data is also possible. And I had a very interesting interaction with one of the banking finance professionals in US. And even with the type of advanced technology that is being used in US, they said that our biggest challenge is truth of the data. We have so much amount of data available from so many different particular systems, but having it integrated and available at a single place, which we can kind of rely upon and work upon, is a major challenge. So getting the data from different source tiers, using a connector tier into a proper storage tier is critically important. You can have a data warehouse, you can have a data lake, you can have a typical conventional application database, whatever methodology may be selected. But having the data at a proper place is absolutely important. Then you can have your processing tier where you can use the BI tools, or you can use a separate application which can be developed for the visualization of the data. And then you have the reporting tier, by which the reports on a dashboard are available for the management to take objective decisions. Now, this is extremely important that such a methodology is followed, by which the heterogeneous data or kind of a complex data available into multiple different source systems is kind of clubbed into it. If we are able to manage this kind of a data visualization, then a hyper automation can be really implemented into the whole process, and actually the manual work or the manual labor in terms of data complexities can be drastically reduced. Now, typical hyper automation challenges. So if I take the P2P cycle, then today, if I take Indian context, we have a e-invoicing being implemented. So I get a PDF copy of an invoice, or I get a QR code of an invoice. I need to kind of scan that QR code and verify whether the data is correct that has come from it. I need to do a OCR of the invoice, the PDF invoice, and capture that data. I need to use a kind of a bot by which the captured data can be automated and transferred into my ERP system. This entire process has to be automated with different kind of a thing. Now, when we talk about the vendor onboarding approach, when we want to onboard a vendor, then we have to take his basic data, but then we also need to kind of have a APIs integrated into our system by which we can verify the truth of that particular data. So maybe verify his PAN number, verify his maybe GST code, maybe verify his filing details, whether he has filed the returns on time or not, whether what type of rating should I give to this vendor, or maybe search for his, I would say, scores across a particular financial matrices, whether this vendor would be in a place to suffice our requirements or not. So this type of a vendor onboarding process also needs a certain amount of automation. If we take the account receivable part, there are major challenges into the account receivable part, because Again, the data that is coming out from the ERP along has to be integrated with the banking system. Along with that, the inputs have to be taken from the sales team and the clients, and the entire process again needs to be automated, by which the salesperson's minimum time and effort goes after the account receivable part. Now, this is also a critical component which needs to be completely automated, and so much amount of manual labor is being involved into it. If I talk about accounts payable, now in India, typically you have to verify whether the invoice is available into a GSTR 2A application or not. We have to kind of verify whether the person has filed his returns or not. Based on that only we process the payment. Otherwise, we withhold the tax amount and pay only the means like the net of tax amount to the person. This entire process has to be automated and done with. We have to go through our internal processes by which we give kind of approvals onto it. So that approval mechanism and approval process also needs to be taken care of it. So again, this is a prime candidate for achieving, like implementing bots, implementing different automation practices onto it. And based on that, the data analysis can be done and a kind of a excellent BI information can be provided, by which lot of decision making becomes much easier. So the objective is how we can move more and more towards data driven decision making and make decisions less dependent on a gut feeling or a kind of a impression from the people who are taking a decision. Here is where the automation has to be used and kind of implemented to the maximum. Another challenge into the financial, and if I talk specifically into the tax domain, means like verifying the e-way bills and verifying the data between the e-way bill and the GSTR1 and the 2A is a kind of a typical challenge for any tax head or a CFO today. And it directly is involved with the amount of input tax credit which is available to you. So it becomes very complex, and it's necessary that that reconciliation is done or automated to an extension. Then data extraction from the invoice and matching it with the manual input tax credit, that is also kind of a function which is complex and needs a certain amount of automation. Buyers want to be a 360-degree compliant today, and verifying everything is kind of where a lot of OCR technologies, RPA technologies can be used to make it automated. And posting of actual proper purchase entries into the ERP is very important, because the amount of complexities with the complex e-way, means like invoice numbers, and the amount of micro level information which is provided into an invoice and capturing it correctly is something which is again a prime candidate for hyper automation. Some of the kind of other business challenges I'll talk about is the strategy building in terms of how the entire finance function will work and what type of data and what importance should be given to it. So that is a kind of critical point where automation is required. Accelerating the account and financial positions, feasibility of growth and expansion, how to go about it, how to improve the corporate image, and how do you really, because how well you pay to your vendors or how you really automate your kind of finance function. Based on that, lot of corporate image is being built. So for that also the automation is required. And the key factors into this is the data, reporting, and technical. These are the three areas where we see maximum amount of struggle. Quality of data, proper reporting of data, and lack of technical competencies are the key areas where we see a lot of challenges to it. Some of the major challenges, if I go further into the tax domain, is huge quantum of data and kind of identification, and a genuine consultancy is required on what data to be kept and what needs to be done. Because if I am going to get notices after 10 years of filing of my tax return, replicating the case scenarios or the positions at that particular time and replying to that notices is kind of a major challenge. Lack of uniformity into the data functions, because every system manages data in a different way, and having uniformity is a challenge. Different formats are being managed, and formats are being changed from the government and also quite frequently. So ensuring that there is a consistency into it. Mining of data and its values is major concern, because validating the data really happening. So many data lies into the Excel systems, and at the end of the month, every return is being changed, or kind of at the end of the year, a lot of data modification happens. And that is why the decentralized data really needs to be brought in into the centralized form. Data connection between upload and visible are also quite different. So what has been kind of into the ERP data and what has been submitted onto the government portal, they don't kind of they are not always same. So there is a lot of challenge into them. These are the kind of multiple entry branch data, because the GL data is different and the transaction data is different. That is also something we have seen quite often into that. So having a kind of centralized data system around this is extremely important. Some of the reporting challenges which are failed is data validation is the major concern area. Keeping with the dynamics of the government changes is again a problem area. Internal and external compliance, because both needs to be taken care of it. Timely reporting, a major challenge, and reconciliation of the data, because we did a survey of multiple different organizations, and the biggest two challenges which came out of them was that compliance is a challenge and reconciliation as a challenge. This was 70% of the organization faced both of these challenges, and that is kind of thing which needs to be taken care on the priority. Some of the other challenges in terms of the text domain are in-house development capabilities at the organizations are not there. So dependent on multiple different vendors is a thing. Multiple ERP systems or multiple source systems is a major challenge. Latest technology adoption is a thing, because some team is working on a old legacy system, and on for some type of data we are using state of art technologies, and slow turnaround time, because the kind of methodology that is being used in terms of deploying and implementing the systems is a kind of a major cause of worry. Now, one typical hyper automation case study that I would like to talk about is the challenges that we talked previously. Is validation is a major challenge, and in a written filing solution, if the data is not properly reported, then it becomes a major challenge. But here a machine learning based a compliant platform can definitely help into this particular solution. Some of the ERP systems, now the IT structures which are implemented into the ERP systems are not the vanilla implementation, and so much amount of configuration or kind of customization has been done, which creates actual challenge in terms of truth of the data. And the ERPs needs to be kind of a checker systems have to be deployed by which the data can be verified, and then a kind of implementation of the business process automation can be done. Technical and functional challenges are there, because the understanding of the current law situation or the understanding of what requires to be done is always a challenge. And here at least the bots can be used extensively to kind of integrate between the data that is available and data that needs to be done. So that is a kind of a thing that needs to be done. Claiming ITC is a major challenge for all the industries today, specifically into the GST domain, and lot of automation can be put into place for that. And internal decision making, which is kind of a major concern, because the ERPs function kind of what you call is business function wise, and here the data that needs to be reported is either at the corporate level or at the state level, and kind of a major uh, differentiation happens between that. Again, a kind of a AI based system can really make a difference in terms of this application. So hyper automation is the way forward to go about it. Automating the process using conventional applications, multiple different applications, and kind of different types of processes is extremely important. And using that really is the way that organization should go forward and implement. And what I normally have talked in a lot of my communication, that today the government organization across the world have automated quite well, and on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being highest, I would say even in the Indian context, the government has automated to a level of 6 to 7, and the industry definitely is lagging behind on a scale of 2 to 3. So that really needs to be covered upon, and that really needs to be done. So this is a kind of a small thought process in terms of hyper automation and the automation that needs to be in place. Thank you so much, and thanks Diksha for the time for us, and really appreciate the opportunity.